Namaste Sannyasa family and everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you in this daily live meditation session with me Dhyanse. We're meditating on 112 meditation techniques of Vigyan, Bhairav, Tantra. Today's session is in continuation with our exploration with Tantra exploration into aspects of life which could be transformed, turned into a meditative state, into a practice of meditation, and we were talking about sexual acts. I would like to once again remind all of us that Tantra is not about sex. It is not a stimulation of sex, but rather utilizing every aspect of life and turning it into an opportunity to enlightenment, to God. But there is a connotation of sex with Tantra. It is something like several years back when I first came to Germany. In the early days, I was looking for a place where I could get some Indian food. I was hungry. So I went to one of these stalls, one of these shops. It said Currywurst. I read the word curry. I thought this is Indian food. I stopped right there and I ordered the Currywurst. What I got in front of me, I saw was a sausage, some tomato sauce on top of it, and some powder on top of it, some curry powder. And I asked the shopkeeper, "What is this? Where is the curry?" The shopkeeper said, "The powder that is there on top of this tomato sauce is the curry. Don't you know this curry? Such a famous Indian thing. Don't you know this curry?" Similarly, this Tantra sex, that is the Western interpretation of Tantra, has nothing to do with Tantra, just the way the Currywurst has nothing to do with the curries of India, with the taste of India, with the spices of India. So get yourself out of this sense of Tantra being sexual stimulation. Rather, understand the wisdom of Tantra to raise your consciousness, the daring of Tantra to explore every aspect of your life and showing you the way from wherever you are in life, in whichever act you are in life, to a doorway towards enlightenment, towards higher consciousness, towards God. In yesterday's session, the contemplation, the awareness was to bringing your awareness on this entire act, the sexual act, from the fire to the ashes, from the rise of the energy, the sexual energy, to all the way until it turns into fulfillment, into ashes. In today's session, the focus, the Tantra vision, the Tantra focus is on the peak of the energy, is on the orgasm of the energy. Tantra says, understand this orgasm if you want to understand God. Understand the nature of this orgasm. If you contemplate on this nature of this orgasm that you experience in the sexual act, the sense of self disappears. The boundaries are broken. You are once again free. There is liberation of energies. This nature of orgasm is the same nature which also reflects the nature of God. So here Tantra is saying, understand the nature, contemplate on the nature of orgasm. How liberating this is for your energies, for your bodily energies. If the energies are only expressed in the physical, at its peak, what you experience is this physical orgasm where there is no self. For a moment, you're not an individual. You lose that sense of self, you lose that sense of identity, and you are immersed in the vastness. You're immersed in the liberation of energies. You're immersed in this freedom. Similarly, if the energies that are physical, if they move on the mental level, and there is this orgasm of the mind, the liberations of the energy of the mind, that orgasm becomes creativity. It leads to all the creation, the same energy which is there as sex, the sexual energy. It becomes in its orgasm creativity and creates whatever art, whatever form is out there in the whole world. It expresses itself out as creativity. So what is physical, what is orgasm to the physical, is what is creativity to the mind, is what love is to the heart. When the heart is raised to its highest orgasm, to its highest peak, to its highest form, to its highest energy, in its highest peak, in its highest form, it expresses love. And the same if the energy is further transformed, further refined, and if your spirit is allowed to rise, if your spirit is allowed to have its orgasm, that is what is God. In that expression, in that expansion, in that liberation of your spiritual energies, the experience that is there is God. If not that, then what else is God? But see that the way we live, there is suppression on every level. There is suppression. Forget about the spiritual energies. There is suppression of the spirit. There is suppression of the heart. There is suppression of the mind. There is even the suppression of the sexual energy that is there as a fundamental, first, basic expression of the energy, of the life energy that we all contain. And the world that is created out of this suppression of sexual energy. The world we live in, of desires, of violence, of anger, of hatred, all this negative expression that you see in the world, this construct of the world, is because of the suppression of the sexual energy. Tantra wants you to understand, would want you to contemplate on this sexual energy that you have, that if this sexual energy is brought to its totality, to its orgasm, all this negativity, all this anger, all this hatred, all this jealousy, greed, desire, all this disappears in the world, in you, because of the suppression of sexual energy. Whether this is done on purpose or is done accidentally in the way we live in life, is done in the misunderstanding of energies in life, it does not matter whether it's intentional or unintentional. See the outcome. And the whole world, the whole act, everything is based, rooted in the suppression of this sexual energy. Even the work that we call as work, the meaningless work, the purposeless work, is in a form, is built on the suppression of sexual energy. If the sexual energy is allowed its totality, it's allowed its orgasm, it's allowed its expression, the work becomes purposeful work, meaningful work, and you're not just trapped in this mundane that we have created for ourselves. So here Tantra is laying down this entire spectrum, not just your body, but your mind, your heart, your spirit, and showing you that the energies, when they are liberated, when they are allowed, when they are having their own peaks, they all result in creativity, in love, in God, and not this world of hatred, this world of anger, this world of suppression. So much so that everywhere we look, everything is somewhere built on top of this suppression, and the entire world looks sexual. There was a man, he went to a psychiatrist for evaluation. The psychiatrist said, let us do some visualization techniques. So the psychiatrist, he drew a circle, showed this to the man and said, what do you see? The man looked at the circle. He said, I see a naked woman. The psychiatrist said, okay, let's go to the next visualization. He drew a triangle and showed it to the person. He said, what do you see? The man said, I see a naked woman sitting down. The psychiatrist said, okay, let us move on to the next visualization. The psychiatrist drew a square on the paper, showed it to the person. The person looked at the square. He said, this is definitely that naked woman in a very nasty act. The psychiatrist said, well, you are so preoccupied with sex, you see everywhere sex. The patient said, no doctor, what are you talking about? It's not me, it's you who are drawing all these sexual drawings all the time. We are so much immersed in this suppression that we don't even realize that we are immersed in this suppression of energy. Sexuality is one form of it, then the creativity of the mind, the love of the heart, the God of the spirit, all are suppressed in ways that we do not even realize that we are living our entire life in this suppression. And Tantra as a science is the science of liberation, of these energies that are there in us, from the sexual energy to the spiritual energies. It is the science of the unfoldment of consciousness so that you can embody this liberated energy, so that you don't get carried away in here and there with the energy. So both the unfoldment of consciousness and the liberation of energies go hand in hand as we move on this journey of Tantra. Let us hear the technique that Bhairav has given us in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra for today and meditate over it in the next minutes of our silence. Bhairav says, the orgasm of a sexual union is a reminder of the thousand-fold spiritual bliss. Contemplate over it. Let me repeat. The orgasm of a sexual union is a reminder of the thousand-fold spiritual bliss. Contemplate over it. First of all, the technique is reminding you, is making you contemplate on the orgasm, on that experience of orgasm, on that liberation of energies, on that sense of no self, on that freedom. And then it is saying that if you use this as the reminder of the thousand-fold spiritual bliss, it is saying, it is proposing that there is a spiritual bliss which we call as God, this experience of enlightenment. This is nothing but the same liberation, the same unfoldment, the same breaking of boundaries of the consciousness and of energies. He's saying, use that as a reminder the thousand-fold spiritual bliss. While you are at the peak of orgasm, you may utter names of God, but if you are aware, if you remain aware of and use this as the reminder that there is this thousand-fold spiritual bliss, there is a possibility that you carry in you, then there is an opening of consciousness in you. Then there is an awareness that opens in you, which once you carry also throughout your daily life, it becomes the doorway, it becomes the pathway, it becomes that search, it becomes that seeking towards God, it becomes that seeking of that thousand-fold higher spiritual bliss. The reference in chakra system is also of a 1,000-petaled lotus that opens in the Sahasrara of our energy system as the energies rise from the very lower center, the sex center, all the way to the Sahasrara. So in all these traditions, there are references to the same. How to do this as a technique in these moments? As you sit in silence, allow your body to rest. Allow your body to come to a rest and your mind to also come in a state of relaxed creativity, in a state where your mind is not constantly bounded by your thoughts. So you let your mind be going wherever it goes. Your heart is in a state of love. You can do that by focusing your energies on your Anahata chakra, on your heart center, and feel the love in your heart and the contemplation of God, the energy at your Sahasrara. So what you can do in this meditation as a technique is to, first of all, allowing your body and mind to rest, then bringing your energy, your focus to your heart, to enter the love in your heart, and then to raise these energies to the Sahasrara, all the way to this 1,000-petal lotus, by bringing your focus, your awareness to Sahasrara chakra, to the crown chakra, to few inches above your head. And if you do not want to follow the chakra system, simply the sense of expansion, the sense of God, the sense of liberation, if you contemplate on that sense, that becomes the doorway to meditativeness, to silence. Let us practice this in the next minutes. Please close your eyes. And take a posture that is easy for your body. For your body to find a balance. For your body to rest on its own weight. With your head, neck and back aligned, your shoulders down, with every breath, with every exhalation, allowing your body and your mind to rest. To settle. Your awareness to turn inwards. In these moments of meditation, if your thoughts, allow them to rise and fall. Do not suppress anything. The rest that is there, let it be natural in you. Shifting your focus at your heart center. in the middle of your chest, keeping awareness at your heart center in sense of love, and allowing your mind to be free. If there are thoughts, let them be. You remain focused on your heart. Awareness at your heart center, at the sense of love, in the expansion of this sense of love. Do not suppress the mind. Let it be. You remain with the heart. and shifting your awareness to the top of your head, to the crown chakra, Sahasrara. In contemplation of God, unpersonified sense of God. Awareness at this space, few inches above your head, at the crown chakra. Contemplating over expanding energies as you focus on the crown chakra. And let go of all focus. visualization. And simply stay in this silence, in this expansion and awareness. Not trying to hold on to anything or change anything. Simply flowing in awareness and silence. Remaining in this bliss of silence and awareness. And very gently and slowly, you may open your eyes. Maintaining this taste of bliss, of silence, of awareness, and taking these tastes to your daily life. On this spiritual journey, if you feel the need of being a part of a community, of Sangha, of sharing your love, your connection, your experiences with other meditators, you're more than welcome to join our community of meditators. If you have the calling for it, please write me an email with your introduction, with your interest in the community, and what would you like to give back to the community. Thank you very much. Namaste.